Some of the words are very important. So I may do a little fast. So be alert. Whatever is useful, make a note. What is the very first word? Wary. Wary, part of speech, adjective. Feeling or showing caution about possible dangers or problems. Simply write the word cautious. Write the word cautious. Cautious means what? Careful. Be wary means be cautious, be careful. Apartheid is an important word. Once it was in the limelight, goes with South Africa. Now it is no longer in the limelight, but you have to know the meaning. Apartheid, part of speech, noun, a racial segregation. You differentiate people based on races, you segregate. Underline the word segregation. Segregate means what? Separate. Vivid goes with colors usually. Write the combination. Vivid colors, vivid images. Two combinations you have to know. One colors, the other images. Vivid means what? Part of speech, adjective. Producing powerful feelings or strong, clear images in the mind. When you see something, it makes an impact on your mind. Then we use the term vivid. Have you got the meaning? The next word we got last week also, extravaganza, means what? Elaborate and spectacular entertainment or production. And I gave, based on this, I gave words like extravagant, lavish, spendthrift, prodigal, on the negative side. On the positive side, frugal, thrifty. All the words you have to recollect. Precursor, pre means what? Before. So precursor, part of speech, noun, a person or thing that comes before another of the same kind, a forerunner. But here you write the word predecessor, another important word, predecessor. That's a political term. And we have got many a time, predecessor. Shed, usually a noun, but in this context, what is it? It is a verb. Shed means to get rid of. Please write the word. One combination, you could write snakes, brackets, skin. Snakes, a lot of snakes, periodically they shed their skin. It goes with that context. It goes with people also. We all have a lot of inhibitions. Because of that, we feel shy. So write another combination or expression, shed your inhibitions. You all know the word inhibitions. Shed your shyness. Inhibitions. Something stops you, something holds you. We use the word inhibitions. Means get rid of. And yesterday, if you remember, I told you a common error, get rid of. A lot of students think double F. Is it double F or single F? Now, please underline, get rid of. Then you remember, next time you don't get confused. I gave last week a word like reticent. I said, I was talking about types of people, broadly two groups, social, dynamic, outgoing, talkative. On the other hand, we have reserved, isolated, reticent. Reticent means what? To say a few words, not to speak a lot. And what is a noun form? Reticence. The quality of being reticent or being reserved. I also gave another word, if you remember. Some people by nature reserved, reticent, nothing wrong with that. Some people are talkative, some people are not talkative. But sometimes what happens, a person who is a social, dynamic, talkative, meets or comes across an unfortunate incident, then stops interacting with others, stops withdrawing from social life. Then we use the word recluse. Remember, I gave the word. Please write that if you don't remember. After the incident, he became a recluse. Means he started withdrawing from social life. That's an important word. That has a negative connotation. Unsavory, it's a negative word, part of speech, adjective. Disagreeable to taste, smell, or look at. Something unpleasant, unsavory. Something not acceptable. Scam also we have got many a time, part of speech, noun. A dishonest scheme, a fraud. Underline the word honest, only honest. Why is it important? It takes a or an, and that you have to recollect. Inept, adjective, ineptly, adverb. Means what? Having or showing no skill. Then we use the word clumsy. Write another word, awkward. What is the other word? Awkward, clumsy, not proper. They all go hand in hand. Awkward behavior, clumsy behavior. Ratify is a verb form. What is a noun form? Ratification. The action of signing or giving formal consent to a treaty. Underline the word treaty. A ratification goes with a treaty, contract, agreement, making it officially valid between the countries, among the countries. Some agreement, we use the word ratification. Vantage, a new word we have got for the first time, but easy. Advantage, vantage. You can relate these two. Part of speech adjective. A place or position affording a good view of something. You sit somewhere, you get a good view, you have the advantage. Vantage point. Write the combination, vantage point, P-O-I-N-T. One combination. Also underline the word view, vantage view. The other day we got headwinds, do you remember? Means what? Opposite direction, opposing forces. Here we have another word related to wind. What is this word? Tailwind, part of speech adjective. Please put a star mark. We have got for the first time. A wind blowing from behind. It means what? Something that pushes you forward. Something that encourages you. Something that takes you to a next level. We did extremely well Asian Games recently, so that acts like a tailwind. Based on that success, we want to go in for the Olympics. That's what the context talks about. Stellar is an important word we have got for the first time. Adjective, featuring or having the quality of a star, performer or performers. Stellar performance, a combination, means what? Outstanding, like a star. Stellar goes with stars, you all know that. Uptick also we got a few times, part of speech noun. There is an uptick, means what? Small increase or slight upward trend. Humongous, an important word they have given in competitive exams many a time. Part of speech adjective. Huge, you can relate humongous, huge, in a way related. Enormous. You can also think of the word mammoth-like, giant, Herculean, something that is huge. Fierce, right, the combination goes with battle. Fierce battle, B-A-T-T-L-E, one combination. Also write fierce competition. Fierce competition. These are the combination words. Having or displaying an intense or ferocious aggressiveness. Underline the word ferocious. Ferocious usually goes with animals, especially dogs. All right, the combination ferocious dog, meaning ready to attack. Ferocious means what? Ready to attack. We also use the word aggressive. Aggressive also means ready to attack. Aggressive goes with animals. The word also goes with persons. If you go to Delhi, the capital city, people are very aggressive over there. If you come down south, people are not aggressive. We are all very soft. Do you understand what I say? But in the north, they are very aggressive. Even youngsters are very aggressive. They are ready to fight, attack all the time. Outcry, we have got for the first time, part of speech. See, why do I say for the first time, or we have already got? There's a reason behind. When I say for the first time, you have to put a star mark. Not easy to remember. When I say we got last week, you have to write the letter F, familiar. And you should be able to remember. Outcry means what? Part of speech noun. It has two or three meanings. One meaning to shout. But in this context, a strong expression of public disapproval or anger. Something goes wrong. It talks about Commonwealth Games. They did not conduct properly. There was an outcry, means something like opposing, not approving, expression of public disapproval or anger. Ephemera we have got for the first time. Ephemeral, write another word form of this. Ephemeral means temporary, and part of speech noun here, ephemeral adjective. things that exist or are used or enjoyed for only a short time. Something exists for a short time. What is the word we use? Temporary. Better word is what? Ephemeral. But when it comes to fashion, fashion is always, there's a saying on fashion, style is permanent, fashion is temporary. Fashion is so ugly that it has to be changed every 6 months. Do you understand? Style is permanent, but fashion is not permanent, it is temporary. But again there, write the word F-A-D, fad. Fad means short-lived fashion. For a short time it becomes very popular. Sometime back, boys, long hair. Remember? Boys, earrings. Remember? Again, boys, a punk style, hair like spikes. They're all fads, short-lived. And now we see torn jeans. Have you heard of this? Fortunately, no one wears, that is good. Torn jeans. That is fad. That is crazy. Yes or no? Let us go to the editorial quickly. But today we have two idioms. I'll touch those two. Then we'll go to the editorial. I use regularly. While preparing for competitive exams, don't leave any stone unturned. See, it has come in the editorial. Leave no stone unturned means what? Try every possible course of action in order to achieve something. You want to be selective, you don't get the selection. Do you understand what I say? Don't be selective. To get the selection, you have to be, you should not leave any stone unturned. And lay bare, an important idiom. Lay, laid, to put down something. Bare means uncovered. Barefoot, bare body, bare infinitive. To reveal or uncover private information or feelings. To lay bare means to make something open, public. Now we'll go to the editorial. What is today's editorial about? Before that, the tone of the editorial. It is all about India conducting the Olympics. The Olympics, the ultimate sporting event on a mega scale, not easy to organize. And our people messed up when they conducted Commonwealth Games. It was a big mess. Now going directly to the Olympics, it's an uphill task. So the editorial says the tone of the editorial is analytical and cautionary. Underline the word cautionary. It discusses India's ambitions to host the 2036 Olympics and highlights the potential benefits and challenges associated with such an endeavor. Endeavor means an important project you take up. Generally, we use the combination business endeavor. But any editorial that talks about a particular country hosting an important sporting event like the Olympics, it talks about why should India do that, whether India can do it or not, what are the challenges, what are the prospects, what mileage India will get when it hosts the Olympics. In the past, which country hosted, what problems they had, what mileage they got. All these aspects are touched in a systematic way. How does it start? Olympian heights. What do you understand from that? Great heights. Please write, great heights. In the sports, the Olympics, the ultimate, so great heights. On India's efforts to organize the 2036 edition. Main idea of this editorial, India must be wary, India must be cautious of the complexities of hosting the Olympiad. The Olympics, the Olympiad, underline the Olympiad. I don't know why they have used here, but generally the Olympiad goes with subjects. Today, I don't know how many of you know, if you go to school level, school students, they take national, international Olympiad exams. Math Olympiad, English Olympiad, have you heard of that? Science Olympiad. It goes with a test actually. Multiple choice, but they have used in place of the Olympics. The main idea is crystal clear. What is the main idea? India has to be cautious because it is not an easy thing to host the Olympics. Is that clear? How does it start? And today you see a few words underlined. They are important phrases, important expressions, grammar point of view. From time immemorial, an important phrase you have to remember, means from the past, from the beginning, time immemorial. The Olympics, underline the Olympics, already in bold. Why is it important, you tell me? Whenever we talk about a sporting event, we have to use a definite article, the World Cup, the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, that you have to recollect. Individual sports, no article. Sporting events, the US Open, the Wimbledon, do remember. The Olympics has been used. I will ask a question, you have to respond. Which tense is that? Active voice or passive voice? Passive voice. Please make a note. Has been used as a soft power medium. Soft power medium means by hosting the Olympics, you can influence certain things and you can change the direction of international situation or scenario. You get some power, but it's not aggressive. It's a soft power and you can do something using that power. Governments worldwide have bet. Which tense again? But why am I smiling? Yesterday I told you, do you remember? What is the past form? And what is the past participle? What is the word we have got here? Bet. What are the three forms? Here is it, bet can be a noun, bet can be a verb. And which tense is this? Have bet. Present perfect. That means what are the three forms? Bet, bet, bet. That you have to catch. That word is different, this word is different. Governments worldwide have bet on the sporting, economic, and socio-cultural impact the games can leave. When a particular country conducts the Olympics, the country will experience something. It is going to make an impact. Impact on different fronts. Economic front, socio-cultural front, and also sporting front. Everything changes because to conduct the Olympics, we need a very good infrastructure. When you construct the infrastructure, spend money on infrastructure, indirectly, the sports people of this country, they get benefited or don't get benefited. They get better infrastructure, they can practice, they can raise the standards, and also the economic benefit. What is economic benefit? From other countries, a lot of people come, and the tourism industry will prosper. That way India gets benefited economically. And socio-cultural impact. When they experience our culture, obviously they will like Indian culture, no second thoughts about that. And they come from other countries, we also get an exposure to culture of other countries. Many benefits are there. Governments worldwide have bet on the sporting, economic and socio-cultural impact the games can leave, as well as, underline as well as. What is the grammar rule you have to recollect based on that? When we combine or join two subjects using expressions like as well as, both and a combination, as well as a different one, besides, in addition to, with, together with, along with, like, unlike, all these, the verb agrees with the first subject. That you should recollect. Here, as well as on the political legitimacy. You all know the meaning of the word legitimacy. Legitimate, one meaning. Legitimate means what? Legal. Please write the meaning. Legitimacy means legal. And political legitimacy, the hosting of the event can bring. Here it means a political right. Legal. Legally we have the right. The hosting of the event can bring. Underline the word host. A particular country organizes the event. That country is called what? Host, obviously. But generally we use the word, write another word, guest. Host, guest. And sometimes what happens, some people enter the party or a function without being invited. Write one idiomatic expression that is known as gate crashing. Have you heard of this any time? Gate crashing. Entering a party without invitation. And also we use a word, they are known as, write the word intruder. There was an intruder, means someone who entered the party without invitation. An important word. It talks about the impact and benefits of hosting this particular event. Then the editorial tries to give examples what are the benefits of hosting an event like the Olympics. Post-World War Europe, post-apartheid South Africa, and Brazil of the 2010s are vivid examples. So after World War, when Europe hosted, they got some political mileage, they got some benefits. And after that, South Africa hosted. After apartheid, blacks suffered a lot because of this apartheid policy. Who changed that policy? Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, the father of South Africa, he was in jail for 27 years. How many years? Imagine your life, 27 years in jail. Still he was positive and he could change the country. Till that time, blacks separate rooms or separate public places. They are not allowed to enter the places where whites go. You all know about racial segregation. In our country also we had in the past with Harijans. You all know that. So Harijans not allowed to enter the temples. I'm sure you all know that. Today also in some villages being practiced. In a way that is also segregation, social segregation. It talks about after the World War Europe, after apartheid policy, South Africa and Brazil of the 2010s are vivid examples, means perfect examples to recollect and remember the positive impact of the event. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement at the International Olympic Committee IOC session in Mumbai that India would leave no stone unturned in its efforts to organize the 2036 edition of the quadrennial extravaganza is to be seen in this light. That is an important expression. Tell me, is it active voice or passive voice? We should see something. It is to be seen. Is to be seen, make a note, passive voice. It is in passive voice. Is to be seen in this light. In this light means in this context. I hope you are writing. In this light means what? In this context. And India does not want to leave any stone unturned to organize the event in which year? 2036, more than a decade. A long way to go, but we need that time because we need to build up the infrastructure. That India has also expressed an interest in the Youth Olympics as a precursor. Generally what happens, we want to take a big event. We try with a small event. Then we gain experience. We understand the difficulties. So Youth Olympics on a smaller scale, it is a precursor to the Olympics on a larger scale. You can understand the idea behind. That India has also expressed, present perfect, an interest in the Youth Olympics as a precursor is a clear signal that it wants to shed the reticence that came with the unsavory happenings at the scam-ridden and ineptly handled 2010 Delhi Commonwealth Games. All these years, India was calm, India was quiet, India was mute. Why? What is the reason? They did not talk about hosting an international event. The reason behind 2010 mentioned clearly what happened. Commonwealth Games. I think who was the minister? I don't remember. He became highly controversial, sports minister that time, and it became a scam-ridden event, and a lot of problems related to infrastructure, mismanagement, and swindling of money. Write the word swindle. Scam means something that is illegal, not acceptable. What happens usually a scam? Money is swindled. One important word. Write another word, embezzle. Swindle or embezzle means take an organization money for your benefit. Looting money or taking money of a company and for personal needs, that is what we say. Simple word is steal. Better words are what? Steal goes at the individual level. But from a company you swindle 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, 1 crore. Then we use words like swindle, embezzle. There is one important idiomatic expression. Please write that one. They have given many a time in SBI. Feather one's own nest. Does it sound familiar? The manager has feathered his own nest. means the manager has swindled money, embezzled money. This is an important idiom. Feather one's own nest means to make money illegally. Misappropriation of funds. Misappropriation, you know that word. It goes with banking, misappropriation. So it talks about if India hosts Youth Olympics, it is going to be a precursor. India gains experience and they will be able to handle the Olympics properly. That is the idea behind. And it shows that it wants to shed the reticence. Shed means what? Get rid of. A reticence, all these days they have been calm, they did not say a single word. It wants to come out of that reticence. That why were they silent? Why were they reticent? Because of the unsavory happenings that happened at the time of Commonwealth Games. And Commonwealth Games, two problems. One scam-ridden, the other ineptly handled. Inept means what? Not in a professional manner. They did not handle professionally. Though the ratification of the host city for 2036 will take time, they cannot decide immediately. It will take time. So underline the word though. Though the ratification, approval of the host city for 2036 will take time, Brisbane was selected for the 2032 edition. The Olympics are conducted once in how many years? 4 years. So it talks about before 36, 32. Which city? Brisbane. Where is this Brisbane? Australia. Am I right? What is the capital of Australia? A lot of students think Sydney. Sydney is a very popular city. Once in IAS interview, they asked the question, what is the capital of? They asked at the time of the interview, IAS interview, that means it's a common error. Because people know Sydney. Sydney is a very popular city. And a lot of students say Sydney. No, what is the capital? Canberra is the capital. Brisbane, another popular city. Brisbane was selected for the 2032 edition only in July 2021. And there will be other claimants. Claimants means other countries also want to organize or host the Olympics. India has to face the competition. There will be other claimants. The move lays bare India's global ambitions. This is a very good expression. The move, the interest, the enthusiasm to host the Olympics lays bare, makes it open, makes it clear about India's global ambitions. You can understand the sentence. Be it through the desire for a permanent membership at the United Nations Security Council or the euphoria surrounding the G20 presidency. Already we have got the word euphoria. Means what? A lot of happiness with excitement. India has consistently sought a seat at the high table. So India has been changing. Once it was not that aggressive, now it is trying to be aggressive when it comes to international scenario. The sentence talks about that. One asking for permanent membership at the UN Security Council, another G20 presidency, now hosting the Olympics. All these show that India is ambitious. What is the last sentence that goes with the first part of the editorial? The tag of an Olympic host can give it a vantage position in a shifting world order. Means India will have an advantage once it hosts the Olympics. Is that clear? Now it talks about perhaps the challenges or what happened, why India wants to host. Sporting-wise, it is clear that India wants to benefit from the strong tailwind produced by the stellar 107 medal show at the recently concluded Asian Games. Recently concluded Asian Games, for the first time, India has crossed 100 medals. I did one editorial last week, remember? It is a great accomplishment, and generally what happens when you achieve success, you want to achieve more. It's a chain reaction. Success is a chain reaction, so is failure. Do you guys know that? When you get success, you are like fully charged. You want to go to the next level, next level. We did extremely well Asian Games. Now we want to go with that high spirits or the high spirit and do well when it comes to the Olympics. So sentence talks about that. Sporting wise, it is clear that India wants to benefit from the strong tailwind produced by the stellar, outstanding performance 107 medal show at the recently concluded Asian Games. Ever since Abhinav Bindra won, tell me which tense is that? That's a clause, past tense. Why has it been underlined? Please put a star mark, ever since. That's an important expression. Ever since takes a clause in the past and it goes with present perfect tense. Where do you see present perfect? Ever since Abhinav Bindra won the nation's first ever individual Olympic gold at Beijing 2008, there has been, there you write present perfect. This pair you have to remember. Ever since he got a job, he has been a changed person. Ever since she got married, she has been a different person. Can you see the pattern? This pattern is an important pattern from the exam point of view. This person, who is this person? Abhinav Bindra, got the first ever individual Olympic gold. When was it? 2008. There has been a steady uptick in performances at multidisciplinary competitions. So it was like a trigger, a stimulus. He got the first medal. After that, others also started achieving. There is even a firm belief that India will win double-digit medals at Paris 2024. When are the next Olympics? Next year, 2024. So it is very positive and optimistic. The editorial takes an optimistic stand, says there is even a firm belief, it seems. Yesterday I was talking to some students yesterday. When was this India-Pakistan match? Yesterday or day before yesterday? So day before yesterday there was a session. I was talking, I gave an example, but before I could give the example about the match, many students said India won the match. I said, they are going to play. No sir, India won the match, we'll write that example. So they were so confident about India's win, and it came true, the prediction came true. So this sentence also, there is even a firm belief that India will win double-digit medals at Paris 2024. Good if it happens. While such confidence is not entirely misplaced, it is not confidence without any proof or without any scientific, without any validity. Because we did extremely well in Asian Games, we crossed 100 medals, it can be justified. It is not misplaced, means it can be justified. It says, while such confidence is not entirely misplaced, conducting a mega event such as the Olympics presents humongous challenge, huge challenge. It is not an easy task. India is a third world country. India is a developing country. Brazil also a third world country. When Brazil conducted, they were criticized a lot. They could not handle. Somehow they managed. And any third world country, any developing country, not easy to organize or host an event like the Olympics. So the challenge is huge. What is the word for huge? Humongous, an important word. Why is it huge? Why is it a challenge? Costs are often prohibitive. Please underline that part. You may not understand what is the word prohibitive in this context. Prohibition means what? To ban something, to stop something. So what does it mean? Costs are often prohibitive. Means too expensive, right? The meaning, costs are often prohibitive means it is too expensive to conduct or host the Olympics. Costs are often too prohibitive, as seen from the fierce public outcry during both Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020. Too expensive. Rio they could not handle because of the expenses. 2020 Tokyo, what happened? COVID problem was there. Initially they thought 100 crores as an example. Because of the COVID they had to postpone. Then it got doubled. A country cannot bear expenses when the total amount gets doubled. That was the problem with Tokyo Olympics. This sentence talks about that. In the case of Tokyo, the financial burden was said to have ballooned to 15.4 billion. More than double, not double, more than double the initial estimate. Courtesy the COVID. They had to postpone. Twice, I think. So the costs shoot up. They become prohibitive. Recently, the Australian state of Victoria pulled out of hosting the 2026 Commonwealth Games because of mounting expenditure, and the Canadian province of Alberta withdrew a bid for the 2030 edition. Another example to justify the statement the costs are prohibitive. One, they gave the example of Rio, another example of Tokyo. Now they have given the examples of one, Victoria. Where is this Victoria? Australian state. The other one, Canadian province of Alberta. When the expenses become unbearable, wise decision is what? To go ahead or to withdraw? Obviously, that's what they have done. Mounting expenditure, and the Canadian province also withdrew a bid for the 2030 edition. To avoid being seen as a populist ephemera. Populist means a very popular, goes with large population. Populist measures means many people like those measures. Before elections, when you talk about the election manifesto, many parties promise so many things. They all are populist measures. How many of them are implemented? A million-dollar question. So populist ephemera, temporary thing. In a deeply unequal society, the IOC has moved away from the one-size-fits-all solution, has moved away, present perfect, from what? The one-size-fits-all solution, and now asks potential organizers to present projects that best fit their economic, social, and environmental realities. When you conduct an event on a large scale, you cannot take one particular approach and say this approach goes with the event, because the scale magnitude is huge. Then different sporting events, Olympics, not one incident, many are there. For each one, we need a different infrastructure, we need a different kind of expertise, a different kind of organizer. So now they're trying out that way. They don't want to depend on one size fits. What is the expression over here? Please underline that. One size fits all solution. One approach will not work. They have to change the approach based on the sport. For example, they want to construct infrastructure related to swimming. They have to have world-class swimming pools. Our swimming pools are not properly maintained usually. Do you guys know that? And Olympic swimming pools, the depth, usually our swimming pools are depth, one side 4 feet, the other side 16 feet. I don't know how many of you know. But Olympics, we have the dive board also. They dive, then the depth should be more. And these things, for that, they have to construct new swimming pools, maintain the standards, the amount of chlorine mixed in the water. Usually in water, they mix chlorine. If the quantity goes on the higher side, you cannot enter the pool, and you feel a little suffocated and uncomfortable. And swimming pools, they have to be, the water has to be cycled. Otherwise, it becomes a problem, algal problem. So not an easy thing. It talks about all those challenges. One size fits all solution will not work when it comes to the Olympics. What is the last sentence? India's success will depend on how it marries its aspirations with the inherent complexities. The last sentence is rather funny. Marries its aspirations with what? The inherent complexities. Let us go to the questions based on, please have a look at error location. Excuse me. Today, error location, first you listen to me. In every sentence, there are two errors. How many errors? Two errors. Two parts are right, two parts are wrong. And fifth option, no error, sentence is correct. That means easy or a little difficult. So read the first one and try to spot two errors. In every sentence, you have to spot two errors. Excuse me. I'll give you time. You cannot answer immediately. Have you read the sentence? How many of you say there's an error in the first part? What is wrong with the first part? Is it in hours or within hours of? So change the word into within. Within hours of the massacre of Israeli citizens by Hamas fighters last Saturday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, now tell me where is the second error? Tell the part, which part? How many of you say fourth part? Raise your hands. Oh, only a few students. There is an error in the fourth part. What is wrong with the fourth part? India's solidarity with Israel, not to Israel. Tweeted India's solidarity with Israel. Preposition should be with, not to. Question number 2. Read the sentence. All these are challenging, you got to read meticulously. How many of you say there is an error in the first part? The sentiments were repeated, there is no error. Second part. Now, what is wrong with the second part? While is not the right word, change it to when. In this context, we cannot use the word while. It does not talk about any contrast. The sentiments were repeated when Mr. Modi spoke to Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Where is the second error? How many of you say fourth part? What is wrong with the fourth part? It is not condemned, condemning. It should be in ing form. He spoke to Israeli Prime Minister condemning terrorism in all its forms. Condemn plus ing. The verb should be in the ing form. Go to sentence number 3. New Delhi has also added nuance to initial position, with the MEA delivering the government's first informal statement. How many of you say there is an error in the first part? No error as such. And where is it? How many of you say second part? Raise your hands. There is an error in the second part. Nuance to the initial position. You have to use a definite article, the. New Delhi has also added nuance to the initial position. How many of you say third part? Nothing wrong with the third part. How many of you say fourth part? Raise your hands. What is wrong with the fourth part? Is it first informal statement or formal statement? Formal statement, you cannot say informal. Government makes a statement that is always formal, not informal. Contextual awareness. That's why I have brought that. Go to question number 4. How many of you say there is an error in the first part? The statement is a reminder of, nothing wrong with that. No, is a reminder. Look at all the 4 parts. If you see 2 parts, that means this part is right, obviously. You have to look at it that way. Let me tell you, when it comes to double errors or multiple errors, you should never be hasty. Single error, you don't have to look at other options sometimes. But 2 errors, 3 errors, you have to look at the sentence, every part twice or thrice. And you're damn sure 2 parts there's an error, each part there's an error, then go ahead. Otherwise, don't do that. The tightrope India had walked since 1992. What is a clue for you to spot the error in the second part? Underline since 1992. It goes with 2 tenses. One is present perfect, the other one is present perfect continuous. But here it is in which tense? Past perfect. So not correct. Change it to has walked. The tightrope India has walked since 1992. First error in the second part. When New Delhi established full diplomatic ties with Israel, nothing wrong, while continuing to support the Palestinian causes or cause. Here we don't use the word cause in the plural form. Strike off the letter S. The Palestinian cause means the Palestinian problem. It's a standard expression. Palestinian cause. They're fighting for the Palestinian cause. Means their grievance, their problem. Go to the last one. Rather easy. In 2017 past, India voted against the US and Israel for an attempt to declaring unilaterally all of Jerusalem as an Israeli capital. Second part, one error. Third part also there's an error. What is that error? An attempt to declaring or an attempt to declare. An attempt to declare. This is easy for you guys. Why? 2 plus something. Oh, easy question. Don't go that way. How do you find these questions? Challenging or easy? Don't say moderate. This side or that side? No in between. Let us go to 5 idioms. A little challenging. To fight tooth and nail. What is the answer? How many of you say B is the answer? That is the answer. Fight tooth and nail means to battle with all one's strength and determination. Till the end you fight. To fight tooth and nail. They have given this in SBI a few times, an important one. To bite the bullet. How many of you say D is the answer? Or E is the answer? How many of you say E is the answer? Very good. E is the answer. To face a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage and resolve. What is the third one? In the trenches. Someone is in the trenches. How many of you say D is the answer? Very good. Actively engaged in a difficult task or dealing with a challenging situation. To extend an olive branch, they have given many a time. What is the answer? Is it A or C? How many of you say C? Answer is C. To offer peace or reconciliation. And the fifth one, to call a truce. Underline the word truce. This goes with informal English. When you are fighting with your friend or your brother, suddenly you feel somewhere you are going to lose. Then you say truce. You show the symbol also, truce. Based on that, what is the answer? To agree to stop fighting or arguing for a period of time. So we'll stop for a while. Then again you take time and you are ready to fight. And this is again a new exercise, rather challenging in my opinion. I don't know how you guys look at this exercise. What is this exercise about? There is a short passage, 5 words are in bold, and here for each word I have given synonyms. Each word I have brought 5 or 6 words. Of those 5 or 6 words, one is not a synonym. Your job is to identify that particular word. What is the first word here? Abhor, abhorrence. And what are the words? Despise, detest, like, loathe, scorn, abominate. So what is the answer? You have to say loud and clear. How many of you say like? Take that one. It's a negative word, like is a positive word, so it is not a synonym. Condone, excuse, remember, forgive, ignore, wink at. How many of you say remember? Good. I thought some students would go for a wink at. You all underline the word wink. I'm sure you all know the word wink. Yes, sir. No, sir. Everyone knows the word wink. There's a joke on this. Shall I tell? People do business. When someone does business without advertising, business advertising go hand in hand. Someone does business without advertising, it is like winking at a girl in the dark. Only you know what you do, others don't know. The girl does not know. Have you got the meaning? Fine. What is the third word here? Inhuman. What are the synonyms? Barbaric, brutal, cold-blooded, cruel, humane. So what is the answer? Humane. Write the meaning of the word humane means kind. An important word. What is the fourth word here? Insurgent. Revolutionary, anarchical, complying, disobedient, factious. How many of you say complying? That is the answer. You don't comply, it results in revolution, agitation, deterrence, all these. Comply means you follow. What is the last word? Pound. Blow, pat, punch, hit, slap. How many of you say P-A-T, pat? Pat is the answer. All other words are negative. Pat is done as a positive gesture. You want to encourage someone. Ah, well done. That is patting. Other words are negative words. Pat is the only positive word. And here, pound is also a negative word. Other words are negative words. What time is it? It's already 9:50. Work on the questions later based on comprehension. We'll look at the words we got yesterday and you have to respond immediately. Shall we do it that way? Consolidation. First you have to tell the part of speech. Massacre. Meaning, understood. Every time I cannot say. Meaning. To kill people brutally, mercilessly, cruel manner on a large scale. Solidarity. Noun. Every time, part of speech. No, please respond. Meaning, unity. Crib. Cradle. Simply tell the word cradle. Concert. A musical program, either vocal or instrumental. Atrocities. Cruel attacks. You have to recollect the word cruel. Attacking someone physically in a cruel manner. Condemn. Verb. It's a regular verb. Meaning public disapproval. Disapproval, very good word, I appreciate. But publicly disapproving someone or something. Retaliate. Please, loud and clear. Verb. Meaning to give back. You can simply say give back. Someone does something to you and you do the same thing, but negative context. Retaliate. Hostage. Noun. Meaning someone who has been kept in captivity or under hold. It goes with terrorists, kidnappers. Nuance. Noun. Nuances, plural. That means a noun. Meaning subtle or slight. It can also be an adjective. And obligation. Noun. Meaning responsibility, duty, something you have to do because it is your duty or you have promised to do it. And abhor. Abhor, verb, meaning disgust, hate, something you don't like. Condone, verb, meaning to excuse someone's bad behavior. Condone means what? To excuse someone's bad behavior. Reprisal, noun, meaning retaliation. I gave the same word. Retaliate means the same. And what is the next one? Indiscriminate. At random, part of speech, adjective, meaning indiscriminate killing means at random, not in a systematic way. Insurgency, noun, meaning revolt, obviously, going against the government. And evacuate, verb, meaning to shift people to a safe place. Pound, verb, pounded, verb, regular verb, meaning hit someone, beat someone, trash someone. That's all for today. Have a nice day. I think we are behind the schedule, but do work on the questions based on comprehension. Thank you.